This is the entrance to the Gainesville Factory Outlet, even though you won't really see any signage identifying it as the Gainesville Factory Outlet. The Gainesville Factory Outlet opened in the late 90s amid quite a bit of pomp and circumstance, and as you can see, just 20 years later, there is not a store to be seen. And it was something else. In 1997, going into 1998, I was living in Wichita Falls. And as I was going to move back toward this area, I had people I was going to go to work at what was then known as Weber Aircraft. And I had people in Wichita Falls saying, well, where are you going to work? And I said, in Gainesville. And they say, oh, that's where that new outlet mall is. So even almost 100 miles away, there were people talking about this place. And I think just some miscalculations on the location of it. It's right across the river from WinStar Casino. I think they were banking on people from Dallas that would be going to the casino, and they thought, well, they'll stop here to shop. Well, what they didn't seem to understand is that people coming from Dallas going to the casino, they're going to be saving their money to go to the casino. If they lose their money, then they're just going to go home. And if they win any money, they're going to take their money back home to shop in Dallas. A lot of people, I think, thought that it was going to be like really cheap, and it really wasn't. So it wasn't really as cheap as people thought it was going to be. I think they probably had the lease on the buildings a little too high. And when it first opened up, a lot of these stores were full. It's completely dead now. There is not one store out here, but it's been dead for quite a few years. And I will say that I came out here once before and they had music playing. As you can see, there's a guy working over there. They are turning it into, it's either apartment buildings or a motel or something. And last time I was out here, they actually had music playing. And so I went ahead and shut it off because I didn't want to get the copyright claim and all of that. So I thought I'd just come out here and show you what an abandoned mall that is. If it were a person, it wouldn't even be legal to drink yet. And I think another problem they did is your choice of stores was not very, you could either get a little bitty one like this, it's just kind of like a piece of a corner, or you could get a gigantic store. Let's see if that's open. Nope. Okay. And this would have been the food court. Look over that way. You can kind of still see they had a Mexican place and a Chinese place and pizza, typical food court places. And then they got some signs up there. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to edit this together. So if I remember right, they had a place over there that was kitchenware and stuff like that. A place where you buy like nurses' uniforms and all that. So I kind of like to walk down that way, but I don't want to get in those guys' way. This would have been for me the main walkway. That's where most of the stores would have been that I would have gone to. That's where the bookstore was. And you can see here, all of that was one store. So they didn't have like a lot of mid-sized stores. Yeah, I think they've got the windows covered. I think this was the Reebok store right down here. Yeah, this was the Reebok store. If I can get it where you can see in the window. Get back down this way. So you get two really good pairs of shoes for the price of one. But like I say, I think a lot of people, when they opened it up, they were thinking, well, we have, be able to get like a $70 pair of shoes for like $20. And it didn't turn out to be that way. I mean, you could still, usually the shoes I would end up getting, they'd be like $50 a piece, but like I say, I'd get two pairs of shoes. And I'll wear shoes until they're rotting off my feet, so. I say I would come out to go to the bookstore. And when the bookstore shut down, I'm not sure what that was. I can't even see what I'm shooting here. Like I say, but none of this is in horrible shape because it's all still fairly new. But at one time or another, they had, let's say the Reebok store, and there was a Big Dogs, a Gap, Zales Jewelry. See, these were pretty neat. These were little fountains that were always running. There you go. There's your logo. I guess the one thing out here that still has the logo on it. Gainesville Factory what's it say? Gainesville Factory Shops. Yeah, there you go. You can see here that's all one big store. It kind of looks like, well, that's a moderately sized store, but then this is all part of this over here. That's all one store. So you were either paying through the nose on your lease for these huge stores, or you got a little bitty place that you couldn't hardly fit anything into. Here's another one of the fountains. And like I say, it's completely dead. All the stores are gone. But it has been, it's been on life support for quite some time. Somebody lost a glove. Like I say, when they shut the bookstore down, that took away my reason to come out here frequently. I still come out here and get shoes, but I mean, how often was I going to come out here and buy shoes?
So there's another big, huge store. And most of these clothing stores, even though they were supposedly cheaper, they were still higher priced than anybody around here was. Because I think, like I say, I think the plan was to get these people from Dallas, and so they were expecting bigger money. And of course, nobody from Dallas stopped here, and nobody from Gainesville could afford to shop here, especially once they saw that it wasn't nearly as cheap as they thought it was going to be. And then, like I say, people as far away as Wichita Falls, we're talking about, ooh, outlet mall. That'll be really cool. Cheap stuff. And I can just imagine if somebody from Wichita Falls drove all that way thinking that they were going to come here and get some great deals, and they got here and they'd have been better off just going to J.C. Penney right there in Wichita Falls, That's the directory. All the stores are gone. No. This isn't one of them. This is another one of those. Some kind of clothing store. You can see the men's section there. And the ones on this side have been gone a really long time. Now that store over there, that was where the Brooks Outlet was. That one right there. They were the sole survivor. They outlasted everybody. And once I came out here and saw that Brooks Outlet was gone, I was like, okay, well that's it. That was the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, you can see they had some of the high dollar stuff here. Van Heusen, see, that's Van Heusen direct. So that was direct from Van Heusen. It wasn't somebody else using the name. You were buying directly from them, so everybody thought it was going to be really, really cheap, and it really, really wasn't. Yeah, this was the Brooks Outlet. One of the most popular stores out here, obviously, because like I say, it lasted longer than anybody else. And they had a lot of pretty neat stuff, and it actually was fairly cheap. You can get some pretty good deals out here. This is behind the outlet mall. That's where most of the parking was. Cows. I just thought I'd look up a few pictures of the Gainesville Factory Outlet when it was still, I don't know if I ever call it booming, but back when it was still more operational and had a lot of stores. And of course, that one place I kept calling it Brooks Outlet is Burke's Outlet. Well, it didn't take long. Once it started falling, it just never stopped. And I just thought you guys might be interested in seeing it. I got a little something. I meant to announce it during this video, but it just became kind of an awkward thing to bring up. It just didn't seem to fit. So I'm gonna bring that up in something else later. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you're new, please subscribe. Check out the playlists. I've got all different kinds of stuff on here. If you're old, a like will do. Thank you very much. And just to mention it real quick, did recently top 300 subscribers. And thank you for that. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed recently. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.